All right. Hello, ladies. Welcome to the Elite Annuities Investments Uncovered for Women. My name is Richelle Dickerson, and I'm the CEO of Rhema Financial Solutions Incorporated here in Virginia Beach, Virginia. I have been in the industry since 1992. I used to just sell life insurance and when I was 20 years old and progressed from there to annuities and investments. We have a powerhouse team. Here we have about 5 people on our team. Right now, Keisha is one of them. Keisha Jones, she is my assistant. And you'll get a chance to see who they are. I'm a member of the $1 Million Roundtable Ring Earners. That is a group of investment and insurance advisors whose agencies have hit the 7-figure level or above. Of course, after being in the business for so long, of course, right? Um, I am a woman of God. I take care of my 80-year-old mom. She lives in this house in an apartment on the 3rd floor, and I take care of my 18-year-old son. He's about to graduate from high school this year. So I am blessed beyond all measure. And I just want to share this information with you about what is an elite annuity. What is it that we have been missing? Sometimes you feel like, listen, I've been saving my money for a long time. I've been putting money in my 401k, and I feel like I should be wealthy. Why am I not wealthy? Why is it that I keep sowing and sowing and sowing, and I haven't reaped the harvest? Well, I'm going to give you some things today that's going to uncover a hidden banking system that is right there, but you don't see it. And you won't see it unless you know about it and you ask for it. All right. So if you can just hang with me for about 30 to 45 minutes, I promise you it will be well worth your time. So the name of this workshop is the Elite Annuities Investments Uncovered for Women. Why for women? Because statistics say that women earn 80 cents to 50 cents less than men. Women earn half of what men earn. It's a travesty because we're 50 years outside of the civil rights movement, and we still earn 50 cents to 80 cents of what men earn. What in the world? And it also says that women retire on 50% less money than men. Why is it that we're doing all the work, keeping the kids straight, cleaning, cooking, and going to work? Why is it that I can bring on the bacon and fry it up in the pan and never let you forget you're a man, and I got half the money? What is that? And I'm talking about white women, Asian women, Spanish women, Black women. These statistics are shown for women across the United States of America. We frying the bacon, getting the kids out on time, going to work, and having half the money. What is that? Can y'all hear? I'm fired up about that. And I'm not making these statistics up. These are real live statistics. So this is my calling. So do you only talk to women? Of course not. That's like, do you only talk to Black people? Of course not. We talk to whosoever will, right? Whoever God puts in front of us, we'll talk to you. But that is the reason why we're doing a women, because we believe that whoever rocks the cradle shapes the world. And African American women, we took all the babies to our breast and we nourished them and we raised this country. Do you hear what I'm saying? A lot of the Caucasian male millionaires nursed at our breast. So it is time, y'all. It is time that we understood, we opened up our eyes and see what God really has for us. I'm sorry, I just felt those goosebumps and I let it go. But listen, before we even get into that, I have to give you this disclaimer. This presentation is for information and educational purposes only, and it does not constitute financial, investment, legal, or tax advice. Well, why not? Because tax advice, investment advice, insurance advice legally can only be gotten in privacy on a one-on-one conversation. The content shared in this presentation is not a substitute for personal financial advice. The presenter, that's me, the firm, Rhema Financial Solutions, Inc., we are not selling any securities. Securities are stocks or financial products, life insurance, annuities, any of that. Such offers can only be made in a private session with full disclosure. Past performance is not an indication of future results. Limitation of liability. Here's the waiver. Okay, by watching this presentation, you understand this waiver. Neither the presenter, the firm, nor its affiliate parties shall have any liability for the information presented here. By viewing this presentation, you have agreed not to hold the firm or any of its affiliates liable for any decisions you make based on this information. So listen to me. If I send you down the street to a bank and I say, hey, this bank pays a high yield, and then you go down there and say, Miss Richelle, they don't pay a high yield anymore, and I put my money in there, that's on you. Do you understand what I'm saying? Check the fruit on the tree, right? All right. We'll point you in the right direction, but it's up to you. All right. Everybody agree? I'm just going to take that as an agreement. Let's move on. Okay. We already told you where we are, Rhema Financial Solutions, when we were incorporated. For more information, go to our website, Rhema Financial Solutions with an S.net. All right, let's go ahead and get started. I already told you about my background. There's my bio. Okay, here's my team. Miss Keisha Jones is on the Zoom link today. She's our customer support and community outreach. Bill Brown is my business partner. He was the vice president of North Carolina Mutual Insurance Company. Those of you who know North Carolina Mutual, you know that that was the second Black-owned life insurance company in America. There were only two Black-owned life insurance companies during the Civil Rights Movement who actually covered Martin Luther King and Medgar Evans and all those folks with life insurance. And he was the vice president of one of those insurance companies. And he was the vice president of AXA Financial Group. So Bill and I get together and we look at the accounts. So if you say, Richelle, I'd like you to design a retirement plan for me. Bill and I'll get together and look at the accounts. We will maximize the return and we will secure the money so that you do not lose a dime on the stock market. And if I were you, I'd be like, Richelle, how do you do that? Right? We'll tell you. Pat Envoy, Ben Abenthrall, and then there's a whole group of people in the background who look at the compliance, making sure that you're financially secure before we make a move. Our team is very, very strong on making sure you are financially secure before we make a move. All right? We only work with A or better rated insurance companies and financial institutes. An A plus is a superior rating. An A is an excellent rating. The the companies that we work with are superior rated. These are companies that you'll see sponsoring the Macy's Day Parade, sponsoring the Olympics, sponsoring the Special Olympics, buying out and supporting banks. These are huge, well-known financial institutes. Listen to what I am saying to you. Do not put your money in a B rated life insurance company or a B rated financial institutes. Look them up on AM Best, Standard and Poor's, or Moody's to see what their ratings are, and they need to be an A or better, or don't make a move. You hear what I'm saying? You cannot call up the Better Business Bureau or look them up on the Better Business Bureau. They're not there. Financial institutes can only be looked up by other financial corporations who specialize in doing so. The Better Business Bureau is for small mom and pop businesses. Once you become a large business like Apple or Bank of America or Disney, you can no longer be looked up at the Better Business Bureau. That's another level, okay? Now I hope those were two nuggets for you. Apply them. All right? What is it that we're going to ask for during this presentation? We're going to ask for two things. We're going to give you the opportunity to talk to me one-on-one, either on the phone, either on a Zoom call. And if you live here in the Virginia Beach area, I'll come to your house. As long as your house is not jacked up, put away the dog. Make sure your house is decent. I also have an office at Prime Plus. We'll meet you there, right? If you decide that you want to do a financial planning session. If you decide that you want to take a look at an investment broker's package, normally financial advisors charge you for that. Did you know that? They normally charge between $2,000 and $20,000 up front before they do any of the work. And then they charge you a 2% broker fee on your account on the back end. And that broker fee is stuck on your account for the rest of your life. It is not optional. It is a fee. You will find these broker fees everywhere. 401ks, IRAs, they're all over the place. So, what is unique about us? We give you the opportunity to connect with a fiduciary or a financial advisor without a broker fee. You get a choice, fee or no fee. How do we do that? We give you the option to give us 10 qualified referrals per year. So instead of having 2% coming out of your account, instead of paying money up front, you get the opportunity to connect with me and our firm in exchange for referrals. What is a referral? A referral is telling somebody ahead of time that you work with me. Listen, my new broker, her name is Richelle Dickerson. She did XYZ for me. I trust her. Is it okay if I send her your way? And if they say yes, that is a referral. If they say no, that is not a referral. We will give you a text message script and text you my business card. Just text it to them. Now, you don't have to do that. You can say, Richelle, I don't want to give referrals. I'm not comfortable with that. And we respect that. But just know that if you do an account, you're going to have a fee coming out. It's either going to be a 1% fee or a 2% fee, depending on what you qualify for. All right. So if there's any money that exchanges, that is it. But the good news is you can get rid of all those broker fees by helping us out and spreading that we have a good name. All right? All right. Let's see. What am I doing? I want to. All right. So now I'm going to ask everybody to take a big, deep breath in. Take a deep breath in. Ah, good. Everybody, please take one more deep breath. Hold it a few seconds. Now let it out. There we go. All right. So positive energy in, negative energy out. Now let's take a look at this presentation. This is one of the first things I want to share with you. There are two banking systems. Two. There are two banking systems. There is the public banking system and there is a private banking system. They both operate under our noses every single day. In the public banking system, there are 401ks, 403bs, 457 plans, thrift savings plans, and even public IRAs. I need to add IRA to this. There are also life insurance, basic life insurance. In our industry, we call this street level life insurance. This is the life insurance you get through the mail. This is the life insurance you see on television. This is even the life insurance that hungry, hot breath little agent came by. You can feel their commission breath breathing down your neck, trying to sell you some life insurance. In the industry, we call that street level. Outside the industry, it's a basic level life insurance. There are street level or basic level annuities. Annuities are cash retirement accounts. You put money in there and it's supposed to grow for your retirement. There's street level stocks. If you go into Charles Schwab and you don't have a lot of money, they're going to send you to the basic stocks or the street level stocks. The credit bureau is set up for street level or basic level folks. Rich people don't participate in credit ratings. Magic Johnson can buy a house off the cuff. He's not going to go to a property and say, well, let me look up your credit. Do you understand what I'm saying? Millionaires and multimillionaires don't have credit checks. They don't participate in credit checks. Now, that might be news for somebody, but I'm telling you what I'm telling you. Trust and wills. When you go see a lawyer, the first thing that they're going to do is give you a living trust. You might not even see the lawyer. You might see him for a few minutes, and then they have you fill out a form and they give you a living trust. Well, I want you to know that there are hundreds of types of trust, and they go according to your asset level and the specific firms.
Richelle, you have to reshare your screen.
Am I not sharing my screen? What am I doing? I'm not sharing. Thank you, sis. That's why you're here. I'm up here thinking I'm sharing my screen, y'all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But I know y'all heard. And the visual part is the powerful part too. So thank you. Can you see it now?
Not yet.
Share. Boom. Okay. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Okay. That was the disclaimer. Whoop. I haven't had much sleep, y'all. That's my team. All right. This is the sticker for A+ rated companies. This is our financial exchange, our referral fee or broker fee offer. This is where I am. So can you see where it says there's two banking systems, Keisha?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So this is where I was. Okay. So there are trust and living wills. All right. So when you go into a law firm, just know that there are different levels of trust that are available. Our firm has partnered with some law firms that will bypass some public systems and allow you access to trust that you normally would not have access to. Your banks have different levels of banking. The public banking system, your savings accounts and your checking accounts that have high fees and pay low interest, that is on the public banking system. There is a private banking system, even at your local bank. When you go into your local bank, listen, you want to ask for a high yield account, high yield bank account. Some of them will say you have to have X amount of dollars saved in order to have the high yield savings account, right? But you have to know that banks have different levels of service and they have different levels of accounts. And let me tell you something, most of them will not let you know that they even have those accounts available unless you ask. So you must go in and ask, or else your money will sit there and die in value because it's not keeping up with the cost of living. So ask for the high yield savings account. If you're in church, turn to your neighbor and say, ask for a high yield savings account. If you want a list of those, text me. Text me your name, text me your email address. All right. And I will send you an ebook, or Keisha will send you an ebook on high yield savings accounts. And if you want that information, reach out to us and we'll let you know. Okay. There's something called Elite Annuities, and we're going to share what those are with you today. There's even advanced or elite life insurance policies. Did you know that there are life insurance policies where a bank will pay your premiums for you? It's called premium financing. You put in a certain amount of money and the bank will match what you put in up to 50%. So you put in $1,000 and the bank will put in 500, or they'll put in $1,000 and then you stop paying it for 5 years and the bank will continue to pay all the premiums for the next 5 years. It's called premium financing, and they'll automatically put your life insurance policy into a trust, private life insurance. There are private hedge funds. And a lot of times you don't even have to be rich to get into them. It's really who you know. There's leveraged funds. What's that? That means that you have a brokerage account. Let's say it's Edward Jones, I don't know what they have in the back door, but Charles Schwab, TD Ameritrade, where you have a certain amount of money in your brokerage account and they will let you borrow their money interest free. They will allow you to borrow free money and keep your brokerage account growing. And if you don't pay back their money, they'll just take money from your brokerage account. So you can use your savings as collateral for a interest-free loan. There are private trust, guarantor retained annuity trust, charitable trust for pastors and bishops and people who work in ministry, people who have um, uh, 503Cs, nonprofits. There are trusts for your 503Cs. And then again, I kept hammering on that high yield savings account because those are things that everybody can have. There are high yield savings accounts that have zero minimum deposits, which means you can open it up for $1 and they'll pay you 3 to 4% interest. Hear what I'm saying to you. And of course, money market accounts. And then there are offshore accounts where you can buy a gold and silver and platinum for just a couple of $100s. A lot of times, the bridge to the private banking system is not because you're wealthy, it's just because you know about it. You know about it, so you ask for it, so you get it. You have not because you ask not, and you ask not because you know not. So, guess what I'm telling you? I'm giving you the awareness. God is the God of abundance. Everywhere you look and you see the presence of God, you see abundance. Okay, challenge me. Try to count each grain of sand on the beach. I challenge God. I was tithing. I only had like $100. One time I was unemployed and I was tithing. I was tithing until I was in pain. And then I said, God, you said that I'm supposed to get 30, 60, and 100-fold return for what I'm giving you. Do you know what the Holy Spirit said to me? He said, I didn't tell you how often that's compounded. And I was like, what? So he's saying to us, because you're not aware, your awareness has to open up of prosperity. I know it's at my bank. I know it's in my community. I know it's right here. Open up my eyes, Lord, so that I can see it and receive it. That's what I want you to say in your spirit right now. I want you to say, open up my eyes, Lord, so that I can see it. I know it's right here in my face, but open up my spiritual eyes so I can see it and receive it. So that's what I'm asking you to do. Don't walk around here broke, busted, and disgusted, sad, depressed, and not knowing how you're going to make it when God has set prosperity right in your face. Hear what I'm saying? Now I'm going back to the wealth gap for women. These are statistics. I pulled this from the U.S. Department of Treasury researchers. Every year, what does the Treasury Department do? They look at our taxes and they see how much we have in IRAs and 401ks, 403bs, 457 plans, all the plans that you never paid taxes on, and you're writing them off at the end of the year and deferring the taxes. The U.S. Department of Treasury looks to see how much money you have written off in deferred tax money. You picking up what I'm laying down? And then they put those statistics out on in the public. This is where I pull this information. The researcher says there is a big difference between men's IRAs and women's IRAs. Listen to me. Specific tax data estimates women's IRAs accounts are most times 50% less. 50% less than men's. Transamerica broke it down in a study. This is what they found. Women, baby boomers, these are the older generation, right? The Vietnam War and up, who are still living, baby boomers. Women have an average of $166,000 saved for retirement. And what do men have? The men have $410,000. Yes, this is white men, black men. These are all races. This is encompasses U.S. statistics, all races, okay? And I know some men say, I wish I had $410,000. They broke it down black and white. Black men and white men and Hispanic and Asian men, they did all that, right? But we're talking about the whole US, okay? It says Generation X. That's me. I'm 57, okay? 45,000. Look at that, how drop it is. Only $45,000 saved for retirement as women and $126,000 for men. 45, 50-year-old, 60-year-old men. Boy, what did we miss in these generations? Our grandparents, our grandfathers socked away that money. We missed something. Millennials. I think that's Keisha. I think that's y'all. Women 35,000, men 60,000. It's still almost a 50% disparity in our 30-year-olds. And our 20 and less, the women are at 22,000 saved for retirement, and the men are at 35. The men are still ahead, but the women are waking up. Thank you, Jesus. Generation Z is waking up, and the women are saying, hold up, wait a minute. I need to put my money in it. So thank you, God, that the women, the younger women, are waking up, but still haven't caught up. And they haven't balanced the scales. Because guess what? Men, I love y'all, but women do 2 or 3 jobs when they're working. Normally they're working, they take care of the mama, they take care of the children, they cook the food and clean up after you're behind when you don't even know they picked up your socks. You don't even know they put the toilet seat down. They keep their mouth shut and suffer in silence and and do about 2 or 3 jobs. Most good women, not all women, okay? A lot of good women. And I'm not giving, men, y'all work until you drop. You die first. So y'all out there hitting the pavement and dealing with rejection and all of that. So we give you the props, but you also have to see that the scale should be balanced because the work is uneven. So if the work is 100%, 100%, then the money should be balanced. And that's just my saying. I know that I'm probably going against the grain of some people's thinking, but that's all right. That's why this is a women's workshop. All right, women, why don't we have more savings? Here's why. It's our mindset, ladies. We are the financial emergency first responders. When somebody is in trouble, they know they can go to Mama Titi and get some money. I can call my mama up right now, and she know I got it going on. My mama see my car, she see everything. But I could go to my mama, she's 80 and a half years old, and say, Ma, I need some money. Do you know what she gonna do? If she only got $500 in her account, how much you need? She gonna go in there and give me her last money. I said, Ma, don't give me your last money. Don't give me your last money to nobody. But she will because I'm her child. Now, there are men that are like that too, right? But women, because we're attached emotionally, it can be even more so. So we have to check our emotions when we're giving out our money. Check that. Here's the rule. Put your own oxygen mask on first. Because when the plane goes down, if you don't put your own oxygen mask on, that child next to you is going to die. Put your own oxygen mask on first. Women, we have a codependency on our spouses, on our men, on our caregivers, on our providers. Now, when I say codependency, in my opinion, it's the men's fault too, because the first thing they want to do is buy you stuff. Oh, I'm gonna buy you this. You want this? I got that. And then if you have a good man, he's gonna be buying you everything, everything, everything. And that's a lot of times for some women, not all women, that takes away your desire to do for yourself. It steals your initiative, right? And I mean, I could go hard. I don't know how hard y'all can take this, but in my industry, we call that a welfare mentality. Oh, oh, Richelle, I'm gonna lay under the death. Did you say that, Richelle? Oh, I can't believe you said that. Oh my God. Yes, I said it. You don't want your initiative stolen, your vision, your the completeness of that vision of who you are, right? You want to be supported in that vision and not somebody ran down the street with all my stuff. That poem by Maya Angelou. Somebody ran down the street with all my stuff, right? This is tough stuff, y'all. This is tough love. So listen, what happens when he dies? What happens when he gets sick? What happens when he loses his job? And you don't have anything to support. I'm gonna be transparent with y'all. I was engaged to be married. And at that time, the gentleman, he was way his income and his finances were way up here. And then he was diagnosed with cancer. And he had built a house. We were going to be married. He built a house. And then at the time, I was broke, busted, and disgusted. But not only was I financially broke, I was mentally and spiritually broke. Do you know what he said to me? He said, Richelle, I can't leave you all of my money because you don't know what to do with it. You're young, you're beautiful, and somebody else will end up taking everything that I worked hard for because you don't know what to do with money. You don't know what to do with land. So he ended up, he passed away before we got married, and he ended up leaving all his wealth to his stepdaughter because she knew what to do with money and business. He raised her from a small child and taught her how, he was a bank vice president. So he taught her how to maintain the money. And I'm testifying to you, ladies, I lived it. Now, have we known each other in this lifetime, like this Richelle right here? Oh, that would have been a different story, baby. That young Richelle was young Richelle, but this Richelle right here, that's a different Richelle. So that's what I'm telling you. This is our why, ladies. We're programmed, otherwise, we're programmed to spend first. We get a dopamine hit. Dopamine is a hormone from spending. Oh, look at my nails. Man, it makes the hair stand up on your arm. Look at this hair I just bought. Oh, look at this dress. We get a dopamine hit And we become addicted to spending, 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 spend some more. And then we don't know how to save. We don't know how to delay the gratification. Financial success only comes from being able to delay the gratification. There's absolutely no way to get to financial security unless you can delay the gratification. Turn to your neighbor in church and say, delay the gratification. Now, I didn't say deny the gratification, baby. I didn't say deny it. I said delay it. Wait a month. Wait until your checking and savings account gets to this level before you start spending. Dale Carnegie, one of the richest people who in America, said that the the seed, if you do not have the ability to save money and delay the gratification, Dale Carnegie said the seeds of success are not in you. You don't have the seeds of success. Money is a seed. It is to be planted, it is to be watered, it is to be protected, and it is to grow. Yes, money grows on trees as paper. So it is to be planted and grow. Jesus even said it in the scripture. I'm not going there. But if it hit you, you know it's in the scripture, all over the scriptures. He told us that we're supposed to be growing. And if you don't do that, ladies, all you're doing is spending, 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 spending. I don't care if you got all the cars and jewelry, all the hair and makeup in the world, you're going to run into a wall. As soon as you hit age something and your hips look like this and your breasts drop down to your belly, and unless you got a good man who loves you from the inside out, okay. And if he's still alive, statistics say they die before we do. You understand what I'm saying? You're going to run into a wall as soon as he's not in the picture. Why am I harping on that? I don't know. I'm just going to follow God, okay? Listen, wealth. So we have a things mentality, which is causing liability. Now, after we looked internally and we recognize this, now we can look externally. Low wages. The U.S. Department of Treasury and different women's statistics, the Institute for Women's Policy researchers, they have a statistic right now that says that women earn 87 cents to 50 cents to every $1 that a man earns. And I looked at this website and I looked deeper. It's Asian women who earn 87 cents to every dollar a man earns. Asian women. I have one client from China. She's been here, I don't know how many years. She took her 403B and rolled it over. She took $500,000 and she rolled it into an elite annuity. And she was beating herself up. I'm poor. I have nothing. I know nothing. She was beating herself up, beating herself. And I said, stop it. Stop it. And we did her green sheet. She had $856,000 in assets. And she thought she was poor. Now, African American women say, you got it going on. Your house is paid for, your car is paid for, you got that. And she only made $65,000 a year as a school teacher in Norfolk. And she managed to save $500,000 with all the market losses in 20 years. Asian women, what do they do that's different from us? They save their flipping money. They live frugally. They're trained that from when they were little. So now they're at the top of the food chain of women in America. Black women and Hispanic women are on the low part of the food chain. 55 cents to every dollar a man earns. And they're comparing this to white men. I want you to know that, okay? My brothers in the audience, these are Caucasian men. Because the Caucasian men, not Asian men, not what do you call it? Black men from the Middle East. I think black men from the Middle East. I believe they just don't show their statistics because they're so mind-blowing. Quite honestly, that's a whole nother story. But 55 cents, ladies, we got some catching up to do. And we're the caregivers for both our children and our aging parents, right? These are the things outside of us that's stopping us from saving our money. So I want you to look internally, I want you to look externally, and then I want you to look at the Holy Spirit and say, I'm going to stop looking at this and I'm going to look at you. And you're going to open up my spiritual eyes. You're going to show me the money. And if you're afraid to say, God, show me the money, then there's some kind of bad relationship that you have with money that needs to be torn down. If you say, oh, I'm not worthy, I don't need all that, there's a relationship with money issue. Because guess what? You might not need it, but your child surely needs it for food, clothing, shelter, and transportation. You need it, baby. So deal with that. Okay. What's the solution, Richelle? The solution, I believe this is a revelation. So I am telling you to take a picture of the screen, write it down, and practice it. Do it. Don't just look at it, do it. The first thing you must do is set aside money in bucket number one. You must obtain 6 months worth of emergency money in a high yield savings account or a high yield money market account at a bank or a credit union. Again, in order to cross over to financial independence and financial freedom, you must accumulate 6 months worth of expenses set aside just for emergencies, not to fix the roof, not to go on vacation, not to buy a car, not to buy another pair of shoes, for personal emergencies. Not, Mama, money for my books and tuition. Not that, no, because you have to get them financially independent too. Emergency money for real emergencies, medical emergencies, a car accident, life-threatening emergencies. You're about to get put out, a death in the family. Real emergencies. 6 months. So what does that mean, Miss Richelle? If your expenses are $1,000 a month, so you add up food, clothing, shelter, transportation, and personal care. Again, you add up how much does it cost to eat your food, and this is for you, your food, clothing, shelter, transportation, and personal care. Then you multiply that times 6. You get that number, and that is the goal to set aside for emergency. That is the seed, and it must be put in the proper soil. The proper soil is your high yield savings account at your bank or a credit union, not the low paying interest account, not the account that pays 0.5%. Not the account that pays 1%, not the account that charges you ATM fees, maintenance fees, transfer fees. We're just going to make up a fee. Let's call it a poo-poo fee. Whatever the fee is, so they can take money out of your account and pay their payroll and their rent, their commercial rent. No, no, I'm talking about the bank that charges zero fees and it pays 3% interest or more. And you say, well, who is that? That is where You're going to text me or email me your email, your cell phone number, and your full name, and I will email you a book that is a list of these banks. Now, this money is for you. This money is never to be touched unless it's an emergency, right? Under no circumstances, only emergency. This is the seed, baby. Now, listen, when I get into elite annuities, you will not qualify for an elite annuity or an elite investment of any type unless you have this. You and I can stop the conversation right now. You got to get this part straight before we can do a one-on-one. And that's going to be me or anybody who can actually get you somewhere. If you don't have a law firm and trust, they want more, right? So nobody on the elite side of the spectrum is going to touch you unless you do this first. Listen to what I'm saying. Okay? So do bucket number 1. Bucket number 2 is you must put money into a bucket that will create a passive income for you. What is a passive income? It is a retirement pension. It is a bucket that when it gets to a certain point, it is going to pay you money for the rest of your life. You do nothing and it deposits money into your bank account. It is Social Security. It is your pension. It is not your 401k. It is not your thrift savings plan, but it is your FERS retirement if you have it. It is your civil service retirement if you have it. It is your 457 plan. It is if you have it. It is something where you can turn on a guaranteed lifetime income and you don't have to do anything but turn it on and it'll pay you for the rest of your life. You cannot do that with your 401k. You cannot do that with your 403b. You cannot do that with the thrift savings plan. When you take those monies, they're going to say, which one do you want? Do you want the lump sum or do you want the lifetime income? If you take the lifetime income, they're going to take their taxes out first. And the income is so small, it's sad because you never paid taxes on it. So Uncle Sam's coming for you. Uncle Sam is coming for you. And his target is 30% or more in taxes, state, federal, and an early out penalty. So you need a passive income bucket. What are those? Annuities. The right kind of annuity. That's a passive income bucket. It is a guaranteed lifetime income. Pensions, 457 plans, not 401ks, but pensions. There's a difference. Don't know the difference? Book a call with me. Real estate that is not managed by you. If you have to run and go fix toilets and collect the rent, it is not passive income. If you have a piece of property and it is managed and all the rent money just deposits into your bank without you doing anything, that's passive income. Passive means I don't have to do anything and the money just comes to me. Dividend paying stocks. Dividend paying stocks are passive income. What dividend paying stocks? Oh, there are a few. Coca-Cola, Visa, Exxon. There are a few. You want a list of those? You got to reach out to me, right? And I will gladly send you a list of dividend paying stocks. But that is the bucket that money must go into. So I want you to think about that. Okay. Money. Now, which one first? No. Well, this one you got to get, but you must put money in all of them. So listen, there's a fourth bucket that's not on here. Churchgoers, y'all know what that bucket is, right? I didn't have to mention that. Y'all already know there's some money that goes in that bucket, that fourth bucket, right? So that you think about dividing your money up. Put some money in that bucket, put some money in this bucket, put some money in this bucket. And then when you're ready, you can put some money in this bucket. This is the investment bucket. This is where you're going to take risk. You're going to learn the stock market. Stocks are just simply companies that you are giving money to support themselves, right? But they're risky, high risk, high return. So, in order to get to this bucket, you must have this bucket and this bucket established. Okay? All right. I know I feel there's a lot of questions. Now I'm going to do this. I'm going to do two more slides, and I need everybody to just stop and stretch. Stop and stretch for me. Oh my goodness. Woo! That was a lot of information, Miss Richelle. Okay. All right. Take a deep breath in, y'all. Ah, yes. Hold on a second. I'm sorry, y'all. All right. So now let's take a look at this. Okay. What is an annuity? I had to be a mom for a second, y'all, so please forgive me. All right. What is an annuity? An annuity is an insurance design cash account. An insurance company design cash account. Is it life insurance? No, it is not life insurance. Okay. It is a cash bucket, a cash account where you take a lump sum of money and turn it into a guaranteed lifetime stream of income. Feel free to take notes or take pictures. It is an insurance company designed cash account where you take a lump sum of money and turn it into a guaranteed lifetime stream of income. It is the easiest way to create passive income. You can put a lump sum of money in there, rolling it from a 401k, thrift savings plan, 403b, CD, money that's sitting in a bank account that's not doing well, that's dying in value, an inheritance money, a settlement money, wherever you have a lump sum of money that's not doing well, you can put it into an annuity and instantly, within 30 days, you can turn it into a lifetime stream of income. That is an annuity, the definition of annuitization. I know we should have learned this in high school, but we didn't. Okay. Now, when it comes to annuities, there are two different types of annuities. There are basic annuities or street level annuities. Remember, I told you there's two banking systems, the public banking system and the private banking system. Basic annuities are public banking system. If you go into Bank of America and ask for an annuity, this is all that dude or lady has to offer you. Street level basic annuities. More than likely, if you go into Charles Schwab or even a financial advisor, more than likely, this is all they got for you. Basic annuities. Now, what are they? Basic annuities are offered by companies that are A rated or less. If you get an annuity, you better nod your head no. If the company has a B rating, as a firm, we do not take on companies unless they have an A or better rating. It isn't the Better Business Bureau. No, I told you. The Better Business Bureau is not equipped to rate large corporations, only small mom and pop companies. AM Best, Standard and Poor's, Moody's, and such. They have to have an A or better. Basic annuities have high fees. Those are commission fees. commissions to the firm, say it's Charles Schwab, and commission to your broker. Let's say your broker's name is Billy Robinson. So Mr. Robinson gets 1%, and the firm he works for gets 1% fees, or maybe more. Basic annuities lock your money up for 10 to 15 years, which means you can't touch it, or you can only touch a small portion of it. Now, all annuities have surrender charges, but elite annuities give you more access to cash without them. And I'll tell you about those. Your money is lost on the stock market. In a basic annuity, when the stock market crashes, bye-bye money. 20% gone, 50% gone. I had a client say in our breakfast yesterday, she said in our women's breakfast, we lost all our money. All of it was gone. She said all her money was gone. It was sad, right? And then she got with me and got a different type of annuity, and they're just rapidly moving forward. Low growth. So if you go and you get a basic annuity, you're going to see it only pays 3% or 2% or 1%. And you've had it for years. And it's only been growing very, very slow. It's called a fixed annuity, a fixed interest rate. It's not staying ahead of the cost of living increase. So your money is dying in value because it's not staying ahead of the cost of living increase. Hello? A basic annuity gives you a level income, which means when you do turn on the lifetime income, it's not, your income is going to stay the same. So for example, if you have a basic annuity and you put $100,000 in there, let's say the income they pay you is $7,000 a year. That $7,000 a year that's it, period. You started taking it at age 60, $7,000. You're 70 years old, it's still $7,000. You're 82, it's still $7,000. The income is going to stay level for the rest of your life. Your income is not going to increase. Beware of thrift savings plans and 401ks. Some of those firms are giving people level incomes when you choose that to turn on that income. Be careful, okay? Low bonuses. Now, what is a bonus? There's something called a premium bonus that annuities will pay you. Basic annuities will pay you small bonuses. So if you roll your money into it, they may pay you a 5% bonus. So if you roll $100,000 in there, they'll pay you $5,000. If you roll 100,000, they might pay you $10,000. 5, 10, 15% bonuses. The ones that you get at some of these banks and financial institutes, they pay you no bonus money, zero bonus money. Don't accept that. Talk to me. Don't accept no bonus, okay? You can do better even on a basic annuity. They should be paying you a bonus. Walk out the door if they're not, okay? What is the difference between that and an elite annuity? Okay. First of all, elite annuities are only available to companies that have $10 billion in assets or more. Elite annuities are offered by elite insurance companies. Why? Because they have the extra money and they can pass it on to you. They can afford to give you the big bonus because they've got $100 billion in assets. These are the A plus rated insurance companies. You're not going to find Bobo Insurance Company with an elite annuity. No, you're not. It's going to be the big boys and girls. That's the only place. And they have basic annuities too. They have both of them. If that joker that tried to sell you an annuity, If his firm is not offering elite annuities, you're not going to get it. If that joker that tried to sell you an annuity, he didn't hit the $1 million level, you ain't going to be able to get it. I have agents in my firm who have applied for an elite annuities writing code and they were declined. And there's nothing I can do about it. Either they didn't hit the production level, their credit was bad, they wrote a bad book of business, which means a lot of their clients canceled from another insurance company. It's something on their background where they couldn't get the code. Elite annuity, elite brokers, elite insurance companies. It's a whole nother level. We, only we, give you this option. Rhema Financial Solutions, Richelle Dickerson. We give you this option, and that is no broker fee options. Every other firm in the industry is going to put a fee on these annuities. It's either going to be a 1 or 2% fee. But we give you a choice when you talk to us. You can say, okay, Richelle, I can come up with 10 referrals and you don't charge my account any fees. I'm like, you got it. We'll turn off the fees. Or you say, Richelle, I don't want to give you any referrals. Just put the fee on. What's the fee going to be? And it's going to be a fee. But you get a choice when you're working with us. High stock market participation rates. Now, what does that mean? In an elite annuity, you're going to get the option to participate in the stock market without losing any money. The insurance company is going to be buying the stocks, and they're going to be giving you something called a participation rate, which means if that group of stocks does 10%, your account will earn 65%, will earn 6%. So you'll be participating in the market at 60%. Now, I know this is a lot, especially if you guys are like, what? I don't understand. If you don't understand this, get with me and I can break it down to you. So the participation rates go from 60% participation in the market all the way up to 305% participation in the market with no stock market losses. I'm going to stop. Elite annuities allow you to participate in stock market gains at 60% of what the market does, all the way up to 305% of what the market does with no stock market losses. What does that mean in real dollars, Richelle? That means, let's say the stock market earned 10%. If you have a low participation rate, that means you'll earn 6% interest on your money. If you have a high participation rate, that means you'll earn 2 times 6. That means you'll earn 12% on the market. Okay. Now, if you don't understand if that was too much for you, book a call and I'll show you in real time. Okay. No stock market losses. These annuities have a floor or a guaranteed interest rate. Listen, you're not buying stocks. Since you're not buying stocks, the insurance company's buying the stocks and they're taking the risk. So they take the risk away from you because you don't own any stocks. Okay? You don't own any stocks. You're participating in the growth without owning. Okay? Those of you who know the market, you understood just what I said. You have an increasing income. Remember, I told you the annuity pays out every year the same amount of money until the day you die. With elite annuities, your income is going to grow every year. So let's say at that same example, you put in $100,000 and the income paid you $7,000 for the year. Next year, the stock goes up 5%. So now you're going to earn, I don't know, what is that? $7,500. I hope I did the math right. So now your income's going to go up by 5% or whatever 5% is. And then the stock falls. Your income's going to stay the same, even though the whole market crashed. It'll just stay the same as it was last year. And then every single year the stock goes up. When the market goes up, your income goes up. When the market crashes, your income just sits there and stays the same. And here's the last one on elite annuities. Elite annuities pay a high premium bonus. Woo-wee. So when you roll your money into an elite annuities start at 20% premium bonuses, all the way up to 30% bonuses. So for example, if you dropped $100,000 in there, the insurance company will pay you 20% upfront initially. That's $20,000. $20,000 of free, accessible cash for you. Your cash. $20,000 to $30,000. Your cash. Did they just restore to you the years that the locust and the cankerworm devoured because of the stock market and giving away your money and just stuff, right? I kid you not. All right. I know somebody's like, what's the catch? What's the catch? What's the catch? Well, if they pay you that much money, normally they'll make you wait a year before you can access it, or they might give you access to 10% of the total value. So they'll give you $20,000, but the first year or the first 30 days, you can only access 10% if you need it. That's the reason why you have to have 6 months worth of emergency funds. Okay. All right. So stop, 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 stop. That's a lot. Especially if you're new to finances and you've never heard these words before, that's a lot. Okay. So, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to stop and I'm going to open the floor for questions. Keisha, before I move on, Keisha, you here? Can you help me?
Yeah, there aren't any questions just yet in the chat.
All right. So, listen, before we move on, I told you that there are two different types of banking systems, a private banking system and a public banking system, right? Then we broke down the three buckets that everyone must be to be financially secure, financially independent, and financially free, right? So it starts with the security, making sure you can delay the gratification, put away at least 6 months worth of funds for emergencies, and you practice saying no and saying yes, when to say no, when to say yes to people, objects, and things that are depreciating your cash, right? That's that financial muscle bucket. And you have that income producing bucket. That's that bucket that's going to get you financially independent. You must not neglect putting money in that income producing bucket. Then the stocks and learning how to take some risk so you can get higher interest rates, right? So we learned all that. Then we learned the difference between the two types of annuities, basic annuities and elite annuities. Now, we all want the elite annuities. We all want them. And we learn how to get them. You have to have 6 months worth of savings, and I'm going to tell you how to get them. But listen, is there anyone who has any questions thus far? Raise your hand and um, Keisha will make sure you're checked out. Make sure you're not somebody who's going to come and bomb the Zoom call or do anything ridiculous. She's going to make sure you're good. Then, Keisha, you can unmute their microphone, but raise your hand right now if you have any questions. Now, listen, this is not testimony service at church. Well, back in the day, my great grandfather had an annuity and this, that, and the third. When you get the mic, you're going to start with this. My question is, my question is, that is how you are going to start. Okay. So raise your hand if you have a question and start by saying, my question is. Anyone. And I'm going to just pause because sometimes we have technology things going on and we have a question, and that includes anybody in the audience. Latron, if there's anybody in the audience that has a question there at church, go ahead and let's let them ask that question. Anybody, anywhere. Yeah.
Did you look like an ask anybody if you got any questions?
Yes, I hear somebody. Remember, you're starting with my question is. Latron, are we good at the church? Anybody have a question?
Questions? No questions.
No questions? All right. All right. All right. Good job, everybody, staying plugged in. Listen, even if you don't understand some of the terminologies, stay plugged in because something's going to seek in. And if you take notes about words that you see you don't understand, write it down. I promise you. Like I know the hair on the back of, like I know the palm of my hand, it's going to come up in your life again. And because you saw it here, you're going to be able to recognize it. Oh, that's what Miss Richelle said about an annuity. Ooh, that looked like a basic annuity. I'm not doing that. Right? Or that's what she said about investment. You want the ones that don't lose money. It's going to hit you. So plug in. All right. Now listen to me. Here's the rest. Stay with me now. There are 3 different types of annuities. Let's go here. What are my interest options? Like, how do they pay me interest? So if I walked into a bank, or if I walked into Edward Jones, or if I worked with Miss Richelle at her brokerage firm, how do they pay interest on savings accounts? How do they pay interest on annuities, right? This is how. There are 3 different ways that you can be paid interest on an account. The first way is a fixed interest rate. That means they're only going to pay you one interest rate for the year and it's fixed. Or they're going to pay you one interest for the life of that account and it's a fixed interest rate. It's a CD that's paying 4%. And you have the CD for 5 years and it's only going to pay you 4% interest. That's it. No more, no less. It's an IRA that might just pay 3%. And it's only going to pay you that for the rest of the year or the rest of your IRA life. It's fixed, a fixed interest rate. It's a guaranteed set interest rate. Okay. In the industry, we call this flatlining. Why? Because the cost of living goes up and your interest rate does not keep up. A lot of times when you see these accounts, they look like they're not growing at all. Why is it that I only earned 5 cents this year? Because your bank pays 0.5% interest on your savings. So that means your money's been sitting in that bank account for a year and you earn 5 cents. Right? That's a fixed interest rate. Okay? The number 2 is called a variable interest rate. That means the interest rate goes up and down. This is buying stocks on the stock market. High risk and high rewards. Stock market went up. I had a girlfriend tell me, now she earns $10 million a year. She earns a security firm. And so she said, I put $100,000 on the market and I lost it all. I said, Lord, there she go. And then she said, but the next week I did it again and I earned another 100,000. So now I'm at 200,000. And I scratched my head and I thought about it. I said, but you lost 100,000 and then you put another 100,000. And then did you break even or did you win? Right? So anyway, so if you don't know what you're doing, yes, you will lose your shirt. You're buying stocks. Okay. This is the type of account that's in the private banking system. It is called a fixed index account. It is a fixed interest rate. So that when the stock market crashes, you don't lose a dime. Your money sits on the floor. But when the stock market goes up, your money goes up. So the graph looks like a staircase. The stock market crashes, boom, your money just sits there, it doesn't grow. But when the stock market goes up, whoop, there you go, you see the growth. And then it crashes, boom, your money just locked into where it was last year. But the stock market went up. So this is called an FIA or a fixed index account. It is a combination of stock market gains and no losses. I'm going to give you something else to chew on. I'm hoping you can grab it. In these accounts, you are not buying stocks. The insurance company is buying the stocks, and you are participating with them. You have a participation rate. You can participate with them at 60%, 100%, 200%. I've even seen elite annuities where you can participate in the stock market at 305% and take no stock market losses. In basic annuities, you can participate at 50% or 40%. I haven't seen any as low as 30%, but in basic annuities, I've seen between 85 and 40% participation rates. So that means if at the S&P 500 or the standard, that's the US stock market, the top 500 companies, if that did 10% and you had a 60% participation rate, that means you would earn 6%. 60% of what it does is how much you would get paid, all right? These are called fixed index accounts. And no, you can't get them at Bank of America, Edward Jones, Charlie Schwab. No, you can't get them at your bank or your credit union. Double dog dare you to go into Bank of America and say, I was on this seminar last Saturday and I want a fixed index account. They're going to look at you like you Cocoa for Cocoa Puffs. They might not even know what you are talking about. Are you sure? What do you? And then they might make you feel stupid because they're going to know they know more than you. Okay. But it's not available on the basic public marketing. It's not available in the public banking system. It's only available in private banking system. Yeah. All right. So this is what the graph looks like. This red line is what happened to people's 401ks and thrift savings plans and 403bs, putting the money out on the stock market. So people who retired in 2008 or people who were forced to retire this year because of your beautiful president forced some people out of the government, shutdowns and government agencies. So they didn't have a choice. They had to scram, right? They were forced out and the tariffs hit and the market was down. Tough stuff. You better take what you got before. It was a mess. Okay. So these people down that had to be forced out and they had $140,000 and they were forced out and they had to run And by the time they got their money, they were only had $78,000 left. Okay. That's what happens. Some of these folks went to the bank and took out an IRA, a fixed account. It only paid 4% interest. So that's them on the blue line with their IRAs from the bank and those fixed IRAs. Or their financial advisor just put some of their money from their account, from their brokerage account to a fixed IRA, and it just kind of grew like that, flatline, like that. These are the people on the private banking system who have fixed index accounts. They have the best of both worlds. So when the market crashed, their money just sat there and they said, okay, we're good. We know what's going on. And then when the market went up, whoop, they went up. So they took none of that headache. They were not worried when the administration changed and the government shut down and people in the Department of Defense. I'm live here in Virginia Beach. I jumped into a Mercedes Benz that was an Uber, and I'm like, she was like, "Oh, I work for the Department of Defense, but we don't have a job right now. We waiting to go back." I'm like, "You try," and I'm like, "What?" She had a good government job. She was driving for Uber. Okay. But the people who had these, they were not worried about their retirement money. You understand? Because they had a floor. I'm encouraging you to get one. So you stop worrying about your retirement money. You know it's safe. Hello. So it looks like this: basic and elite fixed index accounts. They all have a floor, which means when the market drops, your money sits on the floor and you don't lose a dime. But when the market goes up, your money goes up. They all have bonuses. The bonuses pay between 5 to 30% on initial deposit. So I took out a basic Roth fixed index account. A Roth is tax free at age 59 and a half. So, and I just started putting $100 a month in it, just $100 a month. Okay. It pays a 5% bonus every single time you put in $100. Ooh, I loved it. And then I worked my way up to 500. And then I worked up my way up to the max. And my max is 800, right? So I still, right now, today, I still put money in it because I need to get as much tax-free money as I can. Once you get to a certain income level, they stop giving you a Roth, okay? But this is a basic annuity or fixed index annuity, 5%. I like it, especially for somebody who's just starting out, all the way up to an elite annuity that pays 30% bonuses when you roll money in there. Let me show you some examples. Okay. Here's my client. That's not her actual face, but the one I was telling you is from China. At the time, our firm only had basic annuities. So she rolled 500,000 and she only qualified for a basic annuity because she only had 3 months worth of savings in the bank. So she didn't qualify for an elite because she didn't have 6 months cash in an emergency fund in the bank. So when she rolled her money into it, this particular insurance company paid her a $50,000 bonus. She was so happy. She said, "Richelle, I only made $65,000 a year working in Norfolk Public Schools. They paid me almost a year's salary." I said, "Yes, ma'am." And then the market crashed, right? And it went down. Her money sat on the floor. And then we moved her into a global index. So when the US went cuckoo, we moved her into a global index. And then we mixed it with some treasury notes and some other things. She ended up earning 10%, another 10% on top of her 10% bonus. She ended up at the end of the year earning 20%. So I went to her. She takes my class at Prime Plus. So we see each other. We saw each other like twice a week, every week for several years. So she came and I said, "Are you ready to take an annuity?" Which means we're going to take that 600,000 and we're going to put it into something that creates a lifetime income from you. She said, "Yes, I am ready. Whoop, and let me show you what she did. Let's see if I can make it bigger. How can I make it bigger? Uh-oh. I keep switching. Okay. I need my glass. You know, I should put my glasses on. So, this is what she did. We took it from a growth account and we put it into an annuity. Oh, here it is. It's Hourglass. And this is what it looks like. Boom. She waited 1 year. She let that 10% bonus cook. And then after 1 year, she put it in a basic annuity. So now, right now, she's taking $600.17 per year every single year from her 403B. So this was her 403B money. She is happy. Do you know why? Because she's taken this as her 403B. She's also taken Social Security, and she's also taken her Norfolk Public School System's pension. So her income is now over $100,000 per year. I hadn't seen her back in class for a while. She took my Pilates class and my bar class. And I said, "Where you been?" She said, "I've been traveling." I said, "Yes, she's traveling and she deserves it." And this is a basic annuity done right. All right. Now let's take a look at another client example. That was a basic annuity. This is an elite annuity. This client qualified for an elite annuity. She had money in her JP Morgan 401k. And she called me. She was my insurance client. She had been my insurance client for about, I don't know, 7 years. So she said, "Richelle, I'm about to retire and I need to do something with this 401k." And I said, "All right, let's take a look." We did a green sheet coaching. We found out she had over 6 months worth of money in the bank. We told her, move it from that to a high yield savings because it's dying in value. So move it to a high yield savings and let's get you to qualify for an elite annuity. And she did what we told her to do. That made her eligible to roll her 401k, and she rolled over $675,000. This insurance company is one of the insurance companies that you will see sponsored the Black female bobsledders in this year's Olympics. They're one of the Olympic sponsors. So this is a big insurance company. They paid her a premium bonus, an initial bonus of $121,500. So when she rolled that money over, 700,000, 800,000, her account was close to $800,000. So at the end of the year, without losing any money, because she's got a floor, right? She's not buying stocks. It's in a fixed index annuity. She decided, "Richelle, I don't want an annuity. I just want a growth account. So give me it's an annuity, but it's just a growth account where I can go in there and withdraw money for it, when I need it." My son and I, we want to buy real estate, and I need to be able to get my hands on enough money to do real estate investing. I said, "I have you." So she is able to take 10% free withdrawals, including their bonus money. So next year, she can withdraw $81,680, 10% of that amount. Okay. And then the bigger balance will just cycle in, never lose a dime, and it'll just keep growing, participating in the market without taking any losses. And I said, okay, so when do you plan to retire? She said, about age 65. I'll take my Social Security, I'll take my pension, and I'll take this 401k money. I said, okay. So if you keep it in this account, you can take 7% free withdrawals. Just take 7%, set it and forget it. If you just set it and forget it at 7% withdrawals, that is enough so that we can recycle your bigger, larger amount. So we showed her, listen, just take 7% every year, and then your account will never go below $1 million in assets. Woo wee. That's what we do. All right, that's on the elite side. Yes, these are real women. Yes, these two real women are Black, and the other one is Asian. Real people, real money, real insurance companies, real women. hmm Okay. Here's another client of mine. She was forced out during this past administration's government shutdown. She worked at the IRS in DC. She was a part of my referral. One of her friends at the IRS referred her. They were losing money in their thrift savings plan. She said, Richelle, we got to rescue this. She rolled over $600,000 into this particular insurance company. This is another insurance company. It's a different from the first one, but they also sponsor the Olympics. Big company. Both of these companies are over 100 years old, by the way. Okay. So when she rolled it over, this company paid her $180,000 bonus. So her account, when we opened it up and did her review, her on Zoom, her account went to $780,000 with her bonus. She sent me a bouquet of flowers and just because we don't take broker fees, she gave me 10 referrals. She reached out to the people, she texted them, she got them to say, sure, I'll talk to her. Or sure, I'll come to her seminar. She invited, said, hey, she's having a seminar Saturday. She sent them into the seminar. And then she texted and said, Richelle, I'm sending so-and-so into your seminar on Saturday. I'm sending so-and-so into your breakfast. And that's the referrals, honey. She did that. So she took no broker fees. Hello. She said, Richelle, I don't need this money. I'm going to go and teach school until I'm 65. I'm going to substitute teach. Right. And I'm going to get my Social Security and some other things that the government's given her. And then I'll take the money from my thrift savings plan with my Social Security at age 65. I said, oh, so you can wait 5 years before you take an income? She said, yes. And I said, well, if you can wait 5 years, sister girl, I have got something for you. This particular insurance company, if you can hold it into this group of funds and not touch it for 5 years, they will double your income every 5 years. And I'm going to tell you who this group of funds are. JP Morgan, Standard, S&P 500, and the NASDAQ. That's 3. There's a couple more. We have a way where if you can just keep it there, that group of funds will double it if you hold it there for 5 years. She was able to do that. So we took some of her money and we put it into smaller allocations for the first year. So she'll see some growth. So she'll see a little bit of growth here, a little bit of growth, a little bit of growth, a little bit of growth. And then those funds will double her income. Wow, cow. And she'll take it in the 6th year. Then small growth, small growth, small growth. This is annual growth. Small growth, small growth, small growth. Double. Wow, cow. I love that. So guess what? At age 65, she's looking at that thrift savings plan, paying her an income of $100,000. $372 per year. If she waits 5 years and takes it in the end of the 5th year in the 6th year. Now, guess how is this working? This is a fixed index account. So when the market drops, there's no losses. So what does that look like? Okay, it's going to grow a little bit. Next year, her income will go up. Then after that, it goes up a little bit, goes up a little bit, goes up a little bit, and then whack, child. If she holds in that 5-year allocation, it's going to double the 6-year again. And it'll, if long as she says, Richelle, I like the way this is working out, just hold, then it'll double every 5 years. If she says, Richelle, listen, I'm getting old. I can't hold my money for 5 years, sister girl. I need my money to grow quicker. Then we come back on and say, all right, we're going to take you out of that 5-year hold and put you in a 1 year or a 2 year, right? And then it's going to grow faster, and it's going to grow up front. So this strategy depends on you. If you're younger and you can hold and double 5 years like she is, then that's what we'll do. But I had a client that I just saw last week. I took her to the Cheesecake Factory. And she said, Richelle, you got to get my money out of that 5-year hold and double. I said, why? She said, because I'm 78 years old. I can't wait no 5 years for my money to double. I need my money up front. And you know how we are. She just went on and on. I don't know whether I'm going to have a hip replacement or I'm going to be walking or what I'm going to be doing at age 80 something. I was like, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I got you. I got you. So for her, we had to design something where more growth came every year. So she had the growth going annually because she can't wait till she's 85 for her money to double, right? So it depends on you, the way we strategize your income. But guess what? If you go into the public banking system and try this, they're going to look at you like you cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. They're not even going to believe that you know anything about something that they don't know. You're not going to see this. You're not going to have the opportunity to do this. You have to talk to $1 million producer who will actually talk to you and structure this for you. And if you look at this account, you don't see any broker fees. She did referrals, right? But that's your choice too. If she would have said, Richelle, I can't give you no referrals. I'm not comfortable with that. Then you would have saw a 2% deduction from her balance that came out every year for a broker fee that particular insurance company would have been charging her. All right, I'm gonna stop. Boom, stopping. I see some people in the church disappeared. That's okay. I see one person on the edge of their seat. That's okay. It's 12:30. I know we're overtime. We're way overtime because we had those challenges. I understand. But then there's some people right here on the Zoom call that are not playing. All right. So is there anybody who has any questions? Raise your hand. Thank you, Keisha, for staying with me and enduring with me. Even Latron, if you're in there, if you have a question. Any question?
Any questions?
No question. Yes. Keisha just dropped it in the chat. Book a free Zoom call with me if you want to know more. Okay, so now we also do life insurance. I'm just going to show you. I'm not going to go through it a lot, but we do life insurance. The main thing we do is something called an index universal life or be your own bank life insurance policy. These are policies that have high cash value. These are policies that after you've had it for 1 year, you can borrow money from the life insurance company and keep your money inside growing. These are policies where the death benefit can be reduced and your retirement income, that'll pay you a retirement income. So you can pay the policy off, set it there, and it'll just start paying you a tax-free income, What is that? It's called an Index Universal Life. Take a look. Okay, I have two of these on myself. I have one on my mother. My mother took it out when she was 75. She's about 81. And I have one on my son. All right. And you structure these policies according to your income. So my mom puts in 100. Well, I do it for her. She started putting in $150 a month for a $50,000 policy. She was 75. If something happens to her, it'll pay out $50,000. If the doctor says, well, the doctor's already said she needs long-term care, right? You can't do 2 out of the 6 daily living tasks. She's got a disability sticker, right? Her walking and her eyes, right? And if you lose countenance, can't feed yourself, it's different things. And the doctor says you qualify for long-term care. So right now, if we needed it, we could take $500 a month, and the life insurance company would pay us $500 a month for 4 years. That would decrease her death benefit, though, to $20,000. Okay. But they do include long-term care, critical illness, chronic illness, and terminal illness as well, where you could surrender a portion of your death benefit and take it in cash, right? But you keep putting money in there, cash value is going to grow. And we structured this one so that it's paid up after the 11th year, and it'll start paying you an income. So if you're interested in that type of policy, life insurance, it's not an annuity. It has a death benefit, and it has long-term care, and it has living benefits on it. So if you're interested, if you can sock away $100 a month or more, and you're interested in that type of a policy, then Keisha's going to drop me in the chat and you can book me for that. But just make sure you isolate and say, I'm interested in life insurance. So that when I come on, I know what we're talking about. Okay. All right. So listen, this is the last slide, I promise. How much bonus money do I qualify for? Okay. So this is how you qualify for either a basic or an elite annuity. To qualify for a basic annuities will pay you anywhere between a 5% bonus. And I want you to think about this like matching money in your 401k, where they match you on 5% of what you put in every time you put it in. 5% to 15% bonus. You have to have at least 3 months worth of emergency savings. So take your bills, multiply it times 3, and that is how much you need to have to qualify. If you don't have at least 3 months worth of savings, the insurance company will decline your application. Decline it. 3 months. Okay? For an elite annuity, they will pay you between 20 and 30% premium bonuses. You have to have at least 6 months or more in emergency savings. We recommend that it's in a high yield savings account. We recommend that it's off the stock market. Now, if you don't have 6 months worth of savings in the bank, but you do have at least, let's say, $30,000 in a 401k, and it's an old one, we might be able to move some of the money from that 401k and put it in a bank account for you for emergencies. We won't be able to transfer everything. We create emergency accounts for our clients who have the money. So in some cases, we can create this for you. So if you're unsure, book a call with me and let's see if we can rearrange some things. Okay, here's the other qualifications for elite annuities. Your expenses, I should say monthly expenses or your annual expenses, must be less than 50%, 51% of your income. Example, if your take-home pay is $4,000 a month, your expenses must be $2,000 a month or less. You cannot live paycheck to paycheck and qualify. You must be living on less less than 51% of what you take home. All right. Now, here is the thing that separates us from all the other brokers in the private banking system. Brokers in the private banking system will not talk to you unless you have at least $100,000 in transferable assets into an elite annuity. Some of them won't talk to you unless you have $250,000 in transferable assets. Some of them won't talk to you unless you have $500,000 in transferable assets, or they will not talk to you. But the truth is all you need is $25,000 in a 401k, 403b, IRA, CD, money market account, mutual funds, brokerage account, some flipping well, somewhere, $25,000 and 6 months worth of emergency funds for yourself that nobody touches. If you have this and this, you qualify for a 20 to 30% premium bonus. That is the hidden, uncovered secret that nobody will tell you. Now, I had my business partner tell me one time. So I took this lady who lives in Norfolk, I took her to Bank of America and I helped her transfer. She had CDs, she had stuff in the bank, and it wasn't growing. It was just sitting there for years collecting dust. Little mothballs were growing on her money. So I had her transferred into an elite annuity. And we got her a 29% bonus on her $50,000 that she saved up in the bank. And then we kept about $10,000 or $15,000 and we had her transfer it to Capital One. I'm going to tell you, the Capital One 360 account, so that it would grow at 3.5%, her little emergency funds, right? So we did that for her. And we picked her up and drove her to the bank and we sat in front of the banker and we had her transfer her money. And then after I did it, she hugged me and kissed me and told me to come to her church and everything. And then my business partner called me up and said, Richelle, all that work you did, the same amount of work you did with her, if you'd have done that with somebody who had at least this amount of money, you would have made X. I was like, that is not what the Lord called me to do. The Lord called me to help whosoever will. He didn't tell me to cut people off because they don't have this amount of money. He told me to help whoever has a willing heart and whoever trusts me. And that's it. So that's what I'm telling you. That's the rareness of the opportunity. Okay. Now, what else is the insurance company looking for? They want to make sure that you have at least 1 year's worth in income worth of life insurance. So if your annual income is $40,000 a year, the insurance company wants to make sure you have at least $40,000 worth of life insurance. Now, you don't have to get that policy through me. You can have it on your job. You can have it somewhere, but you have to have it to put on the application to qualify. These are the criteria for financial security. Financial security is emergency funds, 3 to 6 months worth of emergency funds in case the tires blow out of your car or you're in a car accident. You can get around and you can get it fixed. Those brakes go out. You need to have enough money to get those brakes fixed, and that money need to be on autopilot. So when you get paid again, you take in 10% and refueling what you had to spend. You need to have that habit in place. Financial security, life insurance. So if you die, your family members aren't passing the bucket. If you get sick or hurt or have to go out on disability, you saw how that policy will pay you disability or sickness or cancer or whatever. Emergency funds on the floor equal financial security. Not living paycheck to paycheck. You're not living on over 50 or 60% of what you take home. If you take home and you pay your bills and then you spend up every dime at the end of the month, you got bad habits. They're not going to take you. You need to be disciplined enough to live on 50% of your income or less. And then if you've saved money in that retirement bucket and you have got it up to $25,000, you saw the Gen Z and millennials that had at least $25,000 in that retirement bucket. And it's actually transferable, which means you don't work there anymore. Because if you work there, they own it. You don't own it. You cannot transfer it. But if you have at least $25,000 worth of transferable assets, guess what? You just stumbled and just jumped into the elite annuities category. Hello. And if you don't have all these checks in order, get it in order, because this equals financial security. You don't have to be financially free, which is what my business partners want you to be before they'll talk to you. You don't have to be financially independent, which is what my business partners want. You got to be at least financially independent. You just need to be financially secure, which is what these criteria are. Okay. Refinance your annuity. Okay, so let's get to it. What is the next step? Customize for you and I to get together, and we're going to do a green sheet appointment. What is that? That is where you sit down with me and we fill in an Excel spreadsheet. That's the color green. And we're just going to plug in the numbers, right? See how much you have for your personal savings, how much you have left over at the end of the month, how much you have that's transferable. And then we will take that green sheet. Bill and I will look at it. My team will all look at it, and we'll find a triple A to single A rated insurance company that will pay you the biggest, fattest bonus possible. Just last week, I had a young lady who's 27 years old. She just this week qualified for a 22% bonus. She rolled over about $30,000 or $35,000 from her old employer here in Norfolk, and the insurance company's paying her $6,500 on her rollover. We took some money and we put it in, told her to go to the bank, put that in a high yield savings account, set it and forget it. And she did it. Came back the next day and said, Miss Richelle, I'm ready. And pow, she's automatically in the elite annuities category. 27. Okay. All you have to do is follow the steps. If you have an old annuity, why hold on to it? They're charging you 2% every year and your money's not growing. Refinance it. Talk to me. See if you can transfer it into an elite. When you talk to me, normally there's some kind of broker fee. Make a decision. Hey, Miss Richelle, I'm not going to do the broker fee. I can give you the referrals. Just work with me as I get them. I'm with you 100%. Okay. It's a relationship, long-term relationship. So, Richelle, I'm not comfortable with the referrals. What is the broker fee going to be? It's going to be somewhere between 1% and 2% every year. You have a choice. Finding you the bonus is going to pay you a bunch of money in your retirement account. That I promise you. Anywhere between the averages $10,000 bonuses up to $300,000 bonuses. Okay. And that's it. Let's get started. So, how do you get started? There you go. That is my QR code. Put your phone up, scan it. You're going to see my calendar open up. Scroll over and find the day. 2 weeks always open up at a time. I don't know how many spots I have left. We did a Be Your Own Bank breakfast last night. My son booked 5 appointments at our breakfast yesterday. So I don't know how many more open spots I have. So book it. Talk to me. Also, book me on a phone call. So, Miss Rashad, I just want to talk to you on the phone. Just want to see what's going on, right? And just talk to me. You will find I'm extremely transparent. So if I say, hey, you got this much saved, go to Capital One and open up a 360. Put your money there and let it grow. And then take an allotment from your pay at this much money per pay and get your like like my boy who did the I can't think of his name. Kendrick Lamar said, get your chili up. Get your chili up. Get your chili up to 3 to 6 months, okay? And then come back and talk to me. And I'm gonna tell you what to do and how to do that by phone. I'll do it, right? For free. Because God called me to bless people every day. You cannot beat God's blessing. You can't outgive God, okay? All right. If you need to do a Zoom call, say, look, I just need to get some insurance, life insurance. I don't have any, and I like the kind you're talking about. That's a better than what I have. Can you look at my policy for me and just see if it's good? Trust me. I've been doing that for 30 years. I will look at your life insurance policy. And I would say, look, this is what it's going to do. Call your agent, call your insurance company, check this up, and let's come back on another call. Okay. It's about to expire. The price is about to go up. Da 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 da. What is not going to pay you, but this much money is not going to pay, or whatever. Okay. I haven't heard from this insurance guy in 20 years. Then you need to talk to me. You understand what I'm saying? Somebody abandoned you. So let's get you straight. Emergency funds are the floor. If you don't have your emergency funds straight, I can't take you to the elite side. So get your emergency funds straight. Get your house in order, right? Even if you say, Mr. Shea, I'm too old, I'm too sick, I don't have insurance. And you're in South Carolina, I'm going to point you to some place where you're going to start paying on a burial plot. I have agents and people down there that can do a final expense policy for you. They can make sure your final expenses are paid for. Can you put away $100 a month? Then we got you. You're not going to be passing the plate around the church. Something happened to you, they passing the plate because you didn't have any insurance. Let's get that emergency fund straight. If you got all that stuff in order, say, Rich, I got all that stuff in order. But I have some money on the stock market and I'm not sure about it. Or I have some money on the stock market and I don't want it on the stock market anymore. I want you to get me an elite annuity. Get the insurance company to pay me anywhere between 20 and 30% up front. And then show me how that participation in the market rate works. I wanted you to show me 200% participation, 100% participation, 300% participation. Show me, sister. And I'm going to look you up, right? I'm going to look up that insurance company. I'm going to look you up and I'm going to, when it's done, when it's right and tight, and I know we're going to work. If that's you, book a Zoom call. Let's go. Beloved, I wish above all things that you prosper and be in good health as your soul grows. And this is a part of your growth, knowledge. Okay? My people perish for the lack of knowledge, but my people grow because of knowledge. I know it's been a long time. Thank you, those of you who stayed with me the entire time. Keisha, I'm going to send you an extra blessing for staying with me and fighting the good fight with me. Are there any other questions, those of you who are still here? Any other questions?
No questions in the chat just yet.
Okay. So I'm going to give you just a couple of seconds and we're going to shut down. We've been here a long time. We're hungry. Thank you for letting me get all this good stuff out of my soul. I appreciate you staying and listening. Pastor Ernie, are you there? I keep calling you Pastor Ernie. Pastor Young. Pastor Young, anything to say before we go?
No, I don't have anything. Hi to everyone. I enjoyed this session, and you take care. And may God continuously to bless you and your company.
Thank you. Back at you. You have such a wonderful, warm voice. It's so good to hear you. All right. Well, blessings, everyone. Thank you for listening and watching. We will edit this, make it shorter, put it up on YouTube, and we will give it to anyone who requests. All right. Love and blessings, everyone. Bye bye.